Have you ever stumbled across an idea so out there, so completely bizarre, that it claims to disprove, well, everything? I'm talking about all of science, all of math, all of religion, all in one go. Today, we're diving into one of the internet's most legendary and strangest theories, the time cube. Right off the bat, this is the kind of stuff that greets you. It's misspelled, it's aggressive, and it lets you know immediately that you're in for a very, very different kind of ride. This isn't just some friendly new idea. It feels more like a declaration of war on everything we think we know. And at the very center of this whole thing is one man. A man who was absolutely convinced he had discovered the fundamental secret of the universe. He called it cubic wisdom, and he believed with every fiber of his being that it was being deliberately hidden from all of us. So who was this guy? Well, he went by the name Dr. Gene Ray, and in his version of the story, he was the lone hero standing against a world full of what he called the educated stupid. I mean, just look at the sheer confidence on display here. He didn't just think he had a neat idea. No. He declared himself the single wisest person in all of human history for figuring it out. And honestly, you have to understand that level of absolute conviction to even begin to wrap your head around the time cube. So what's the big idea? Okay, get ready for this. Ray's core claims are pretty huge. He said that creation isn't singular. It's cubic. That in every single spin of the Earth, there are actually 4 separate 24-hour days happening at the same time. And maybe the biggest one of all, that your belief in yourself as a single person, an entity, is just flat out wrong. Now, according to Ray, the reason we don't know this stuff isn't because we're dumb or because it's complicated. Nope. He believed it was a massive, deliberate deception taught by the very people we're supposed to trust, our teachers, our scientists, even our religious leaders. And the big villain in this story has a name, singularity. For Gene Ray, this was the absolute root of all evil. The simple belief in one of anything, one day, one earth, one God, even one you, was a poison. A lie cooked up by academia to stop us from seeing the true nature of reality, which he said is all about opposites. So you can see the showdown laid out right here. On one side, you have the evil ideas from academia, one-day Bible time, worshiping yourself as an entity, and what he called stupid math. And on the other side, you've got the truth of his cubic wisdom, 4 simultaneous days, the idea that opposites cancel to 0, and a totally new kind of math. And like any good conspiracy, he pinpointed the exact moment the lie began. He claimed that back in 1884, a bunch of officials met to standardize time. But to keep their story straight with the Bible's one-day creation story, they deliberately chose to recognize only one of the Earth's 4 days. And from that day forward, according to Ray, all of humanity was locked into this giant lie. All right, so we've got the backstory, we've got the conspiracy, but what is the time cube really? How in the world does this whole 4 simultaneous days thing even work? Let's get into it. At its very core, the idea is actually way simpler than you might think. Just forget about our normal idea of one day. The theory states that inside one single spin of the planet, 4 completely separate 24-hour days are all happening at the exact same time. And here's how he explains it. It's actually pretty intuitive. So we usually measure a day from midnight to midnight, right? But you could just as easily measure a 24-hour day from sunup to sunup, or from midday to midday, or from sundown to sundown. Ray's big claim was that these aren't just 4 ways of measuring the same day. They are 4 different, real, coexisting days. And really, that's the whole idea. Simple as that. Now, this whole 4-day thing leads to the biggest rule in the time cube universe. The only things that are real are opposites. Nothing exists by itself. For instance, you have a man and a woman. They're opposites. You have the Earth's northern and southern hemispheres. They're opposites. In his view, all of reality is just this perfect dance of opposites that, when you put them together, cancel each other out to 0. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is wild, but where's the proof? Well, Gene Ray was adamant that he had it. It was a brand new kind of math, cubic math, which he said proved that everything we learn in school is totally wrong. And this is probably the most famous piece of cubic math. We're all taught that a negative times a negative equals a positive. Well, according to Ray, that's just academic stupidity. In the real natural world, a negative times has to equal a negative. It's a total rejection of some of the most basic rules of arithmetic. And, he was so sure he was right, so unbelievably confident that he actually offered $1,000 to any professor who could publicly disprove the time cube. And as far as anyone knows, nobody ever collected that money. Let's just run through a few more examples of this opposites logic so it really sinks in. So the Earth isn't one thing, it's two opposite hemispheres. Humanity isn't one thing, it's the sum of male and female opposites. You don't even have two hands, you have opposite left and right hands. See the pattern? Everything is a pair, perfectly balanced, canceling out to zero. So, what does this mean for us? If we're not single beings and time isn't real in the way we think it is, then what on earth is our reality? This is where the whole theory just gets completely mind-bending. Just like the Earth has 4 corner days, Ray said that human life has 4 corner stages. You don't just live one long, continuous life. Instead, you rotate through 4 totally separate forms. You're a baby, then you're a child, then a parent, then a grandparent. The you that was a child isn't the same you that's a parent. It's a cycle of 4 different beings. And this really leads us to the biggest, most shocking implication of the time cube. If our understanding of math, of time, of our own bodies is totally wrong, well, then isn't it possible that the world we see every day isn't real at all? Gene Ray actually made this exact comparison himself. He said that this word world we live in, this fake reality built on academic lies, is basically the same thing as the Matrix. He believed we're all enslaved in this fake world, completely unable to see the true, natural, cubic reality that's all around us. Which, of course, leaves us with one final and kind of chilling question. If everything in the universe is made of opposites, and if all those opposites cancel each other out to a perfect zero, what does that mean about you? Do you even exist? In the end, the time cube forces you to ask a question about the most fundamental thing you think you know, yourself.